Hi everyone, good morning, or as they say in Greece, Kalimera. How is everyone doing? Good? Did everyone have a good night's sleep? Yes? Are you well rested? Are you all geared up for today? Because we are going to continue our travels in Greece. Yes, we're going on a new adventure today. Are you ready? Yes, thank you. I see a lot of arms up. Good, hands up. Nice. What happened, Bella? Didn't sleep well? What's up? You slept at 5 yesterday? And then you woke up again? So it was a broken sleep, huh? But I guess that's a lot of sleep for a teenager. All right. And Matthew? Uh huh. Okay, so you had a baseball game and you were tired and you slept well. Good, good. I know some of you had after school events like drama. Yes, that's you, Hannah, and band, and you had your track. So a lot of things going on. Good to go out, stretch, and you get some fresh air. And then I also hope that you all did your homework. Yes, please, because it's very important that you read all those resources and those handouts that I handed it yesterday, because today we are continuing from there. Okay? And first things first, good that we did this. Let's move on to our do now. All right, everyone? And this is just checking in to see where we left off yesterday, and we can move on then. Fine. As it's on Schoology, so hit submit when you're done. I'm going to give you like 5 minutes. And meanwhile, I'm going to take attendance. All right. Thank you, everyone. Yes, Matthew? Mm-hmm. All right. Yeah, you're good. You just have to, yes, open up your Schoology and you'll find the link to submit it. Okay. All right. I'm seeing answers in. Good. And some of them, okay. So when we are all done, we will share each other's answers. Okay. Hmm. Right. So, guys, it's been 5 minutes now, and time's up. It's time to go ahead. Okay. Let's see. What is a city state? I see a lot of you have answered it correctly. So, good. That means you read through my handouts. Yes, the city state is a group of villages and agricultural lands that, function independently. They have their own customs, their own rules, their own government, and they are very loyal to their city state. So, yes, correct. Name two important city states, right? Most of you have answered Athens and Sparta. It was like, oh, that's the city states that you like. But then I see some of you have gone for Thebes and Olympia and Rhodes. Nice. And Corinth too. Good. All good. Why was travel between city states so difficult in ancient Greece? Yes, I guess everybody went with because of the terrain was mountainous, rocky, hard to travel. Yes, that's the reason. Correct. And if given a chance to visit Greece, would you want to? Yes or no, and why? I see so many of you have left. It's like a divided class here, and I see two of you have not even answered that question. I don't know why. Have you left it open? Yes, Zachary. Why did you not want to answer it? Because of the pandemic, you're not wanting to travel? Well, that is safe. That is definitely making sense. But right now, this is a what if question. Use your imagination. Now tell me, would you want to still go visit or would you not want to? Still no? All right, I can change that, but good. Sticking to what you want. And yes, some of you have said it's Acropolis and you want to go island hopping. It's beautiful landscape. Yes, because it's a lot of mountains and the ocean. Correct. And some of you said no because you're just not interested or you don't know more about it. I see that. That all makes sense. Well, good. I guess I'll say that most of you did your homework and we are now moving on towards today's lesson. So today's objective is we're going to learn more in detail about Athens and Sparta, as you all know, two important city states. And we're going to come. All right, so now we've finished our do now, and we're moving on to the objective of today's lesson. Today, we are going to compare and contrast these two important city states of Athens and Sparta, as you all mentioned, most of you at least. And we are going to see how, a life in them would be, important to us. You guys would have to choose a city that you would like to live in and then construct a response based on what we read through, and we make a compare and contrast chart. We'll be using a Venn diagram as a graphic organizer. We'll be going through maybe, how the geography shaped each city state. What was the economy? How was the government? What was the life of the people? What was the social structure? How was the culture there? So we're going to discuss each point in detail. And in the end, you all are going to write to me, compose a response which is minimum half a page. Okay, guys? And use three of those, points that we went through to support your response. So remember, we are going to go through 8. We're going to learn some new vocabulary words, and you are going to pick up 3 of them and give me a response stating which city state would you like to live in, Athens or Sparta. All right, let's get to it. So this is a graphic organizer that I already have filled out with points, but we are going to read each and I'm going to speak to expand on them, okay? So first one, all right. So, as a graphic organizer, firstly, which you have used the Venn diagram, it's, yes, correct. Right there, spot on. It is you're discussing, you're comparing them, your their differences, and there are also similarities. So in between, we see the similarities. We'll just go through them quickly. So both city states had the same language, which was Greek, and was spoken, and the same thing that was spoken and also written. But remember, they may speak the Greek language, but when they were asked who they were not Greek. They were either Spartan, Athenian, Olympian, so they had that loyalty towards their individual city state. They had the same religion because they had the same gods, and both of these city states had slaves in their social structure. I think we already went through that earlier. Good. So first thing, location. Let's go to the slide on top. Let's see, hold on. And there is a map here, remember? Yes. I think it's slide number 3, guys, okay? So here you see, look at where Sparta is and look at where Athens is. Can you all see? Right there. So Sparta is right in the middle of the Laconia region, and Athens is in Attica. And look at this slide. The next slide shows, there's a picture of each. Yes. So look at it. It's so rough, it's rugged, it's mountainous. That's where we have Sparta. And Athens is near the ocean. They say it's like on a hill on the ocean, near the sea. Okay, so we get back to our compare and contrast. I am not doing it in a present mode right now, but if we were in class, that's what I would do. It's easier that way. Now, we are going to the economy. So I hope you're writing down your points as we are discussing this. All right. So next is the economy for Athens was farming and trade based. They were a merchant colony and they traded honey, olive oil, silver. They had currency. And of course, Agora was their marketplace. Like farmers market right now that we have. But all this was possible because of their ships, the triremes, the 3 decked with oars in each deck. They had triremes that were able to, make movement possible for them, and trade was a very important part of their economy. And Sparta had farming and conquering of other lands. They actually gave the business of farming to the people whom they, conquered lands from. So these people were called the Helots, and they owed 50% of whatever they, made to the Spartans. Then people in the middle, like, because the Spartans were busy preparing themselves for fight, so they were for war. They are war-based cultures. So the Periosai, the middlemen who didn't make it into the army, they are the ones who actually made goods for the army and the people living in Sparta. So they made maybe armor and spears and pottery, all towards that goes towards the Spartan households and the armies. All right, so the next point is government. Athens had something called limited democracy, and in Sparta, it was military oligarchy. So now tell me, who knows what a democracy is? And why do you think it was limited? And it's written that I wanted you guys to refer to the slides. We'll go there. But till then, can someone tell me? Yes, democracy is, yes, it's a famous quote by Abraham Lincoln. Very good. It's a government that's of the people, for the people, and by the people. And why do you think it was limited? So let's read about it, okay? So, limited democracy in the sense only men were able to vote. So, there was no voting done by women or by slaves. It was only the 10 generals and magistrates. Were in charge, the council of 500, and then there was an assembly open to all male citizens who could gather, discuss the issues, and vote on them. There was jury duty introduced there, and there was a trial by jury of peers. But although all this was there, this sounds all great. Athenian government wanted to do for the people, but it did not take into consideration the women or the slaves. So although it was for the people, it was for limited people. So we have limited government. Now, Spartan government was an oligarchy. And what is an oligarchy? We've done this before, guys. Come on. Hmm. Yes, correct. So Frankie said it's a government that was ruled by in the hands of few. Correct. Yes, only few of them were able to control. But who are those few? Here too, we had two kings who were in charge of the armies. There was a council, just like how there was a council who voted on in the government in the Athenian government. But then here there were five overseers. They're called the ephors, and they ran the day-to-day operations of Sparta. They decided whom to war against and whom not to, and what they could do. They could veto rulings made by the council or the assembly. So all Spartan males aged 30 or over could support or veto the council's recommendations. So here again, Spartan women were not involved. It was a little bit of a democracy because of the council and senate. They could elect people. They were able to make their choices and vote. But then two kings here, it's a little bit of monarchy. And then the five efforts actually important. They are the ones, it's an oligarchy. It's a Spartan was war-based culture. It is called a military oligarchy. Okay. All right. We go back to our compare and contrast Venn diagram. And next we are going to talk about the military. Okay, so Athens had a military power. I mean, Athens, they it's not that they didn't have somebody in the army. There was an army, but more strong was their navy. Their navy was their strong point there, and the success all depended on the trireme, as I mentioned earlier. I'm going to show you a picture of the trireme. There you go. Yes, can you see the three decks, three levels, and each one with an oar manned by men? So the Athenian trireme allowed the navy to protect the Athenian way of life. And yes, Athens was a member of the Delian League. This is against their war from Persia. And for Sparta, they were the most feared soldiers and warriors, and they were a member of the Peloponnesian League. It's also the Peloponnesian was the peninsula where Laconia is situated, where Sparta is a part of. Remember, we did that earlier. Next, we are going to the next point, which is education. All right. So again, in Athens, men only got an education. Women did get, but it was in household arts and spinning and weaving. They were taught how to read and write, but the focus was on, making good citizens, as in making good citizens of the men. And for Sparta, here it was both men and women got an education. Both of them were taught in athletics, and to be strong, the focus was on strength here. We'll go to the slide, and I guess that's where we will, I can show you there's more information there for you to, when you write your responses, this is where you should go to. So, Athens and education in Athens valued choral music, dance, the arts, the culture, and boys 5 to 18 were educated firstly, and then they had 2 years of camp life, military camp. So see, they were trained to fight too. And And goddess of wisdom, Athena was patron goddess of Athens. So the Athenian education was focused on making good citizens and developing aesthetics and art and culture and philosophy, drama, the tragedy and the comedies, they all originated here. All right. So we are next moving on to education in Sparta. So Athenians valued aesthetics, Spartans valued strength, military strength, and athletics. So girls were also educated here, unlike there in Athens. And it was a tough life for the boys, though. The boys, when they were born, they were actually set on top of the hill, and as the babies were born, and they were left overnight to see if they could survive the harshness, of just being out there. And if they did survive, they came home, they were taught to read and write. And when they turned 7, they had to leave home to go to the barracks, the military barracks, and begin training as warriors. They were only given a cloak, no shoes, just the bare minimum. And they were taught to fight. They had to survive, they had to fight. And at age 20, they were placed into higher ranks of the military only if they passed, like a competition, and then they, succeeded and moved ahead. Otherwise, they were given administration jobs in the army itself. Till age 30, they were dedicated to the state and lived in barracks. And then they could marry, but then still they had to come back and live in the barracks. The women there, that's why they were educated. That's why they were taught to be fierce. They had to survive. They took charge of their household. They managed their farmlands. So that was their life. And of course, they worshipped god of war, Ares. So that was because the focus was on physical strength. Right, moving on. I don't think we have much time, so let's get this done quickly. Okay, guys? Oh, we are going towards the social structure and culture. And of course, the vocabulary words. All right. So, social structure here. All right, just the points. Let's go through them. Athens, only the higher aristocrats, the small farmers, and urban craftsmen, the trireme rovers, they were all free men. They were the citizens. They could vote. They could participate in the government. Then came the metics, who were the outsiders. They were not allowed to own land. They were you can say the tradesmen, the merchants. And then there were the slaves, who were the lowest class. They had no property rights. They were the property of their masters. But then, if masters wanted, they could free them, give them an education, and make them tutor their kids. And in Sparta, they were called the Spartiates. They were the military professionals. They were the citizens there. The outsiders were called the Perioeci. Remember, I told you they're the ones who made goods for them, but did not participate in the government. And then there were the Helots, who were the conquered people who actually, did the farming part and agriculture for them. All right, moving on to you guys have to read more in details from before you make your response, write your response. And this is just me expanding on my points here. And we have the culture. Athenian culture is famous for its art, culture, philosophy. We have philosophers like Socrates and Plato and Aristotle. And we have, the tragedies, the Greek comedies. We have science, medicine, all originating from Athens. It was beautiful. People were proud of how they lived, and it was the creative hub. Whereas Sparta was all about strength, life was simple. That's where the word Spartan means, and they were known for their terse way of speaking, not speaking a lot. That was laconic, and it was all about military values. And the mothers would say to their sons, either come back with your shield on it or not, meaning return victorious or die fighting for your country, for your city state. Okay, so military supremacy, simple lifestyle was their goal. All right, guys, so we are now having very little time because the bell will ring and you all will go into related arts. And when we come back, we will continue. But I just wanted to touch base on your response. Remember, I want you guys to go over the slides again, use those website resources that I was talking about. They had very good videos there too. So if you find time, and I suggest you definitely watch this video here in 5 minutes or less. The presenter talks about Athens and Sparta and their differences. And when you make your choice, I want you guys to first hook me in with a nice opening. Yeah, so for your response, I want you to begin with a nice, eye-catching sentence that would, hook me in, make me interested in knowing why you made your choice. And I want you to use three of the points and support your choice. Put in some effort, given the details. You will find more slides about life about the women there, life about the men, the daily life of slaves in Athens, in Sparta, and I would like you to, write in detail when you support, to be supportive, cite a few websites if you want. You want to say, oh, yeah, I read about this here, and then give me evidence of it, okay? And in the end, just sum it up. It's racist. We completely restate our first topic sentence in different words. And then, if you have time, I already have mentioned it in Schoology. You can see that you can make a poster. That's only for bonus points. And if you want to cover up for your missing grades, some of you, yes. And otherwise, I do require all of you before you leave class for today to complete your exit ticket, which is on Schoology 2. The link, it is a link to your quizzes here. I'm going to share it with you. It's got only 6 questions, very simple ones. I would want you to do this because this is how I know if we are moving on tomorrow and to check your knowledge to see, whether we should still stay in Athens and Sparta or if we can move ahead. All right. So I guess any questions for me, guys? Are we all ready to? I'm going to pair you up in the breakout room so that you guys can check your answers on your Venn diagram, your compare and contrast, and discuss it before you start writing your response. So as I'm going to put you guys there together, I want to see as a show of hands. Who do you think? Would you like to be living as a Spartan woman or the life of an Athenian woman is better? Yes, Maria. Spartan women? Oh, yeah, I know you do karate, so you do like it. Okay. And yes, oh, yes, Athenian women could, as I have a slide here for you, they dressed up well, they had slaves, but then they didn't have much of rights. They didn't have rights in their life in the sense they were just household. They could weave, they could spin, not much of education, and they were married pretty early at 15. So yes, as you mentioned, they are the ones who were a little beauty conscious because they could have jewelry, they could dress in proper silks, I guess, not silks in the sense, in proper gowns. Look at the picture and pottery, but they took mostly the care of the children and the household. All right. Would you rather be a Spartan male or an Athenian male? Spartan male, your lifespan may be a little less, yes, but then you got all the glory. No guts, no glory. It's that sort of life for them. And Athenian men were completely intellectual based. For them it was mostly science, philosophy. Okay, let's see. I had more about the culture. Let's see. Athenian culture. Yes. So democratic values for citizens, it was a creative hub, as I said. They could pursue several kinds of, intellectual pursuits there. Whereas Spartan was a tough life, guys. So yes, before you go, don't forget we do the exit ticket and I'm here. If you have any questions, let me know. This I'm also attaching a document. This is my lecture notes that I wrote for you guys. So this is also attached for you to see in short before you write your response. Okay, back to our presentation. I think we covered everything. We did all our 7 points, and the 8 points was, of course, the vocabulary words, which is democracy, aristocracy, draconian, Spartan, laconic. Now, this is an assignment for you. Find them in the slides, and I want you to use these vocabulary words. Okay, guys, you're going to make a Google Doc, and then, this is going to be your homework. So, all right, everyone. So everybody knows what we are doing, and breakout rooms are ready. If you have questions, I'm here for you. My slides are there. Your resources are there. Do not worry about it. And since it's time, I'm going to let you all leave and have a wonderful day. And Don't hesitate. Office hours are also open. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Have a good day. Bye bye. Bye. Bye bye.